New employment data indicates anemic job growth, but don't read too far into it. I'm Alan Barton. Stand by for Front Page. Joining me in studio, Scott Shackford, Associate Editor of 24/7 News at Reason.com, and Terry Jones, Associate Editor for Investors Business Daily. Okay, the economy created 80,000 jobs. 80,000 jobs in June. The unemployment rate plummeting to, nope, remaining steady at 8.2%. Terry, what do you think? I mean, I think hopefully we can at least say they got rid of the word unexpectedly.
Yeah.
I think everyone was expecting this. At this point, everyone just knows that the economy is just a bunch of blank. And so at least we got rid of that annoying unexpectedly news.
Yeah. Although this was just
unexpectedly bad.
More of the same. I mean, it's 80,000 jobs might sound like a lot to somebody out there, but it's actually nothing in our economy. It's almost a rounding error. You have to.
It barely keeps up with demographics. It doesn't, not even close to keeping up with demographics.
The demographic flow rate into our workforce is about 120 to 130,000 a month. Mm-hmm. So if you're not there, you're not even treading water. You're going under. So this is what you call a growth recession. I mean, the economy is barely inching along, but not enough to sop up the unemployed workforce. And our own numbers, based on our polling data, show that the number of households with at least one member of the household looking for work or seeking full-time employment is now at an all-time high. It's over 28%. And that translates to 30 million Americans. So it's twice as much as our actual unemployment rate.
Scott, what do you think? Do you think these numbers have a psychological impact on people, or do you think if you're in one of these households and you're dealing with an underemployed, unemployed situation, are you even paying attention, or are you just trying to get work? It's mostly almost a political figure more than it is a real number that affects people.
Yeah, it becomes very, very numbing. Almost, like the administration's comments, not to read too much into it. If you see these stories every month, and if you were to look online and look at people's responses to these stories, it's the same thing month after. Not only is the administration saying the same thing month after month, the public is saying the same thing month after month. It just goes to show, and these figures show if you put into the number of people who have been discouraged from looking for jobs, the unemployment number goes up to 14.9%, which is the highest since February. Mm-hmm. So obviously people are becoming more and more discouraged by the situation and by the lack of movement.
At the PJ Tatler, Brian Preston notes that the administration, this was hilarious, I hadn't noticed this, the administration has told Americans not to read too far into the job numbers. Literally, that phrase, don't read too far into the job numbers, 30 times. That's 30 different months of reporting, and every month it says, don't read too much into these job numbers. You shouldn't read too much into any one single month's job numbers, but I think now we've had 30 in a row that are
months.
They spin it with hey, it's 30 months of positive job growth. I mean, it's greater than zero. Well, it's not, we were shedding $700,000 jobs a month at some point in 2008, and look at the improvement. How do you counter?
Let's put that whole thing in perspective. I mean, the 30 months, it's actually, you go back 3 years ago, exactly 3 years ago.
Recovery summer.
In June.
I remember because it was recovery summer, and we all were recovering so wonderfully from the economy. We're having a great time and spending money.
And officially the economy began recovering in June of that month. In February of that very year, the Obama administration told us, well, you pass our stimulus bill, unemployment will not rise above 8%. Well, guess what? Since then, it's risen above 8%, and it's never gone below it. It's been above 8%, I guess, for 41 months, straight months now.
Silly man, it's because we didn't do enough stimulus.
It's not
if
enough.
Stimulus doesn't work, it's because you didn't stimulate enough. That's a cardinal rule. Scott, looking at politically, Obama's facing a problem here. No president has ever been elected or reelected with an unemployment rate this high. You've only got 4 months of these numbers left. I mean, we're there. We're 16, 18 weeks away from an election. What does this say for him?
I think he's stuck with these numbers. I don't see, from people's speculation about what, I don't see how it's going to get below 8 unless they lie, which, that might be an option.
They can keep changing the bottom part of the fraction. They keep on reducing the number of people who are in the labor force, and somehow that fraction is going to, Because there's all the U3, U6 numbers, I mean, are complete fabrication.
And we've had hundreds of thousands of people vanish from being counted in the workforce.
But smart economists are putting those numbers back in. You know, that's where I got the 14.9.
Yeah.
You know, so people are paying attention to those figures, and I don't think there's a way that he'll be able to finesse that without it coming right back at him.
I think it's a massive chicken fat biofuel employment hiring phase to power not just the U.S. Navy, but all the world's Navy will be powered by biofuel by Labor Day. Unemployment rate, 2%. All right, for Terry and Scott, I'm Alan Barton, and you've been watching Front Page.